Every expert, every successful entrepreneur, every professional who built something real started before they felt ready. Every single one. In this video, I want to show you what they understood that most people never do. You're thinking, researching, consuming information, refining ideas, getting smarter about the thing you want to build. You're being responsible, strategic. And every week, the start date moves forward by one more week. Not dramatically, just quietly, almost reasonably. A project that needs your full attention or a gap in your thinking you want to close first. A version of yourself you're waiting to become before you trust yourself to move. The wait feels productive because it looks like preparation. But there's a point where preparation stops being preparation. It becomes the most sophisticated form of avoidance available to intelligent people. You already know more than enough to begin. What you actually are waiting for is a guarantee that it'll work before you've even done the work to find out. That guarantee, well, it doesn't exist. I know what that moment of decision looks like because I lived it. When my brother and I started developing a business plan for coffee at the point in April of 2010, we opened the doors 7 months later. 7 months. And I want to be honest about what those 7 months felt like from the inside. They weren't polished, not confident, not even certain of the goal. We were building something in a neighborhood that was complicated and in a market that was unforgiving and moving forward in it. Did I feel ready? Absolutely not. What I had instead was a clear enough picture of what we were building, a structure for how to build it, and a decision made deliberately before the feeling of readiness arrived, that the cost of not moving was higher than the cost of moving imperfectly. That decision is what opened the doors. It wasn't confidence, not certainty, not a moment where everything finally clicked and the path felt clean. It was a decision. And here's what that launch taught me that I've carried into every professional context since. Readiness is not a state you reach. It's a standard you set. And when you set it high enough, it will always be just out of reach. That's not an accident. That's what the standard is designed to do. The professionals who build something real don't clear the readiness bar. They stop waiting for the bar to feel clearable and start moving toward it anyway. Before we go any further, I want to name something direct. What I'm about to describe is not a case for recklessness. It's not an argument for skipping the thinking, rushing the preparation, or moving before you have a viable foundation. The path from high-performing professional to building something real requires genuine work, genuine structure, and genuine commitment to doing things in the right order. It's not supposed to be easy. What I'm saying is that the right order does not begin with feeling ready. It begins with making a decision that readiness is built through movement, not achieved before. The momentum method is built on principle, and it's a principle that I learned the hard way, not from a book, but from 12 years of running a business that didn't allow for the luxury of waiting until everything felt right. Confidence is not the precondition for building, it's the result of it. That distinction is the thing that changes everything for professionals who believe. The 4 phases: clarity, clients, consistency, confidence. It's not a menu, they're a sequence. And the sequence matters precisely of what it does to the readiness. With clarity, the most uncomfortable phase for most professionals. It requires making specific decisions about who you serve and what you offer before you have proof those decisions are correct. It requires committing to a direction before the direction feels certain. That discomfort is not a sign you're doing it wrong. The Leadership to Leverage Matrix is the tool that moves professionals through this phase, taking the expertise that they've already built and mapping it into something specific enough to act. It's not perfect, specific. There's a meaningful difference. The next is clients. This phase does something critical to the readiness pattern. It replaces speculation with evidence. When you have a real conversation with real people about a real problem to solve, the question stops being, am I ready? And starts being, what does this person actually need? That shift in focus is one of the most effective treatments for internal agitation that exists. Action produces results. But more importantly, at this stage, action produces information that makes the next action good. And the next is consistency. This is where the infrastructure goes in. It's the systems, the rhythms, the operational structure that keeps you moving even when the internal doubt gets loud. And it will get loud. Structure is what you build so that momentum doesn't depend on how confident you feel on any given Tuesday morning. And the last is confidence, not as a prerequisite, as an outcome. The kind that builds from doing the thing, making the decisions, having the conversations, and refining the offers, and watching the produce results. That confidence doesn't arrive before you move. It arrives because here's one question. Answer on. What's the one thing you've been telling yourself you'll do when you feel more ready? Not a list, it's the one thing. The specific thing that keeps appearing in your thinking and then getting filed away for later because the timing isn't quite right. Write it down. Then ask, what would I need to believe right now? Not eventually, right now. To take one concrete step toward that thing this week. Not a launch, not a full commitment, just one step. Specific enough to schedule, small enough to actually do. Because here's what that step produces that no amount of additional preparation. It's real information about what the next step should be. And that information is only available on the other side of it. It cannot be fought your way to. The professionals who look back on this period, they wish they'd started sooner, almost never wish they'd prepared more. They wish they'd trusted their decision making. They wish they'd understood that the clarity that they were waiting for was waiting for them on the other side of the first one. The right moment is not coming. Not because the timing will never improve, it might, but because the right moment was never a function of timing. It was always a function of decision. To be the anomaly. Most professionals with your capability, your track record, your depth of expertise, they'll spend years in the preparation phase, refining, researching, getting ready to get ready. And the window that they were waiting to open will quietly close while they were still standing in front of you. And you don't have to do that. The decision is available right now. Not when you feel more certain, not when the path looks clear, not when the version of you that finally feels ready shows up. Right now. There's a link in the description to book a one-on-one strategy call, which is a direct, structured conversation about where you are, what you're building toward, and what a clear first step actually looks like for your specific situation. The link is below. See you in the next one.